Hello and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist, the weekly show where we all have a bit of playful banter and are mean to Dave. Those are the rules. This week, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled is out on PS4, which got us thinking about all those times we've taken video games way too seriously. Nathan is up first, a man who, let's be honest, takes all video games too seriously, but this one in particular.
So, games I take or have taken too seriously. I could have had loads of entries for this because I swing from extremes and I've definitely gone through, I think every platinum trophy that I've gotten has been like, oh, I'm enjoying this game, and then like I wake up a week later and I was like, what's happened? I haven't seen anyone or been asleep, but I do have another platinum trophy. And at the moment, the thing that I'm doing that with is Sekire Shadows Die Twice. The mania gripped me about 2 weeks ago, and at that point I was looking at the platinum trophy list, and every now and again I feel like it's just healthy to try and go for a platinum trophy. It keeps me in touch with everyone online, and it makes me feel better than Dave. So I thought, yeah, I could do this Sekiro, and it's like a hard game, right? And what happened since I decided to go for the platinum was that I finished the game twice. I had on that run fought a boss called, an optional boss called the Hatred Demon. And it was like by far for me the most difficult boss in the game. I sat down, and when I realized I was in trouble is I didn't go away and look up a guide. I didn't break away from playing. I sat there and I thought, if I just do it over and over again, at some point I will win and the Hatred Demon will lose. And after I'd gone through that ending and I realised that I needed to complete all 4 endings, that's like the hardest part of doing the Sekiro Platinum, I went through, and there's one ending which is kind of the bad ending. It's called the Shura ending, which is where you make a decision halfway through, you basically murder everyone in the game, you go crazy, and the game finishes a lot quicker than it might do if you carried on. So I thought, okay, second ending, I'll do that one. It still took me hours. I did it, reverted back to my save before I made the decision, thought I'm on easy street now, I've already done this part of the game, I'll just go back to the end, collect all the items I need for the different endings to get the platinum, defeat the boss I've already defeated, and I will have done it. And I'll do it over this weekend, my birthday weekend, long weekend, bank holiday weekend. What better way to celebrate my birthday? Yeah, right? I very rarely set aside entire weekends to play games anymore, so I'll just do that, it'll be easy. I'm struggling because everyone's slightly better than they were. I had to defeat a character in order to get an item which will help me to get one of the endings. That's another 5 hours on my actual birthday. That was good. Shut the door, keep everybody out. I was getting angry with the dog. Like everything was, the dog was like moving in the room, and I was like, well, that's your fault, isn't it? I mean, you've right, yeah. Jess, on the sofa. Sit down, be quiet. And, do you know, and I think my dog is quite empathic as well. And like the thing I really realised I'd gone over the edge was when I realised that you have to defeat all the bosses. I've got the trophy for every individual boss now, but I do not have the trophy for all the bosses. And so I was looking at the list going, it's weird that hasn't popped up at the moment. And it's because you need to defeat every boss on the same save. So having done that really hard Shura ending halfway through and then gone back, I now need to go through on New Game Plus to get to that point and do the hardest boss that I fought in the game one more time. But it's going to be worth it. So in a way, I haven't taken it too seriously. I've taken it exactly seriously enough, and my dog would agree.
So the game that I took way too seriously, it's obviously the headline game this week. It's Crash Team Racing, PS1. I think it was the first game that I can remember getting like full-on game rage over. You know, you can often describe games like Crash Team Racing as being easy to pick up but hard to master. You know, that cliche that gets tried out whenever a game that's like cute or funny or cartoony comes out, but with really deep controls. And that's absolutely the case. And there's definitely a point that you can recognize when you're playing a game when it goes from being just ha 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 ha, yeah. Ha ha ha, oh, I'm gonna get really good at this now. And it got to that point. I used to play Crash Team Racing with my sister all the time. For about a year, it's all we would play religiously against each other. I was better than my sister for a long time, and then she gradually got better, and it got to a point where we were very sort of even. And we were in this one battle, and it was the first to 15 points, and it was 14 all. And my sister had never beaten me before this point, and my heart was like going, oh my God, I could actually lose to my little sister now. And I was furious. And I got lucky. I hit a weapon crate and I got one of the homing rockets. And I was like, yes, I've got it. And so I sort of back to my sister. She was trying to escape because she could see I've got the homing missile. And she was like, oh my God, I've got to escape. So she was desperately trying to evade me. And I managed to chase her down into this corner. She just smashed into a weapon crate. So her weapon was still spinning. I fired my homing missile. So it was like flying towards her. And my sister just in desperation, just hammered the fire button, and it landed on a bomb. And she shot out this bomb, and so this bomb is coming towards me at the same time as the homing missile is going towards her. And I was like, and her bomb hit me. I can't believe it. I actually thought I'd won. Like, both screens just exploded, and I was like, yes! And then I saw that she was the one, her character was like, yeah, celebrating. And it turned out her bomb had hit me. Like, it must have been a 1/10 of a second before the homing rocket hit her. And so after that, I would sort of like, in my room at night, religiously do time trial modes where you can race against Oxide's Ghost. Oxide is like the main boss in the game. That's when you know you're good at a track, if you can beat Oxide's Ghost on it, because you have to make full use of all the shortcuts and stuff. And I would just be there. I remember just racing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I don't think it's any exaggeration to say I think I played 4 or 5 hours straight just doing laps on this one track to make sure I got the absolute...
Impressive, Rosie. You say impressive, what I was thinking was another supervillain origin story.
Yeah. I took it very, very seriously. And I will be taking Nitro-Fueled, I think, just as seriously when it comes out, because I've got to, I've talked myself up on Crash Team Racing now. I've got to prove myself, and so I'm going to have to take Nitro-Fueled every bit as seriously.
So I had to think quite hard about the game that I've taken seriously, because I don't generally tend to take things that seriously, because I'm quite happy in my little game world, wherever it may be. I don't tend to feel too stressed about things. I'm not a big rager. I'm not a big overthinking things. I'm like, the game wants me to beat it. I'm gonna get there eventually. But weirdly, the one game that I took very, very seriously when I was younger was Worms.
Yes! Oh my God, I so feel you there.
This is the thing. I loved Worms. The first time I ever played it, I was like, this is my jam. I don't know why I loved it so much. It's that mixture of funny, but huge destruction, which is always gonna pull me into a game. So I loved it so much. And I also think it's not that difficult, which makes it all the more infuriating when people aren't good at it and they're on your team. That's what would really annoy me. I'd be like, Worms. We're playing a cartoon Worms game, guys. Could we just focus?
Stop being bad at it!
And I think the point where I realised maybe I was taking things a little seriously, maybe I wasn't being as fun as the game was intended to be, was when I started drawing out the maps in Worms. Because you can't see them all, right? Because you have to scan across.
Is this the 3D one?
Any of the Worms games, because I've played them all and I've been this weird about almost all of them.
Yeah.
But at one point you couldn't see the whole map, and people would fire really wildly, and missiles would just go, or they fall off the edge of stuff because they claim they couldn't see it, and I'd be like, well, I've drawn the map. It's right there in front of us. So you can see where they are, or where you need to go up and not just fire into the side where you can't get through to them. So wow. I don't know why you're being so bad at it.
I feel like a little bit of real world hours just leaks through there. I just got a little glimpse of what it might be like.
Yes.
I think we should play Worms.
So I just learned all the weapons. I learned how far you could fire different types of missiles, or how far different bullets would go, and I could give you little advice based on if you pointed at the map and you're I'm gonna go for this one over here, and I'd be like, okay, the best thing to use now, because I got that deeply into a cartoon game about worms. I'm not sure why I took it so seriously, and I definitely ruined several friendships. Some of my siblings, we've never really been the same again, but yeah.
I feel shame, and you should never see us play Worms. I'm so bad at Worms.
Okay.
There's, I think I've played with Dave on the channel a few times,
on the channel,
and I would say I have killed at least as many of my own worms as Dave did. Do you know what I mean? Like things were just, I didn't realise there was wind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's pretty fundamental because it's going to
There's
affect.
a big arrow down on the bottom, isn't there?
Yeah.
It very
Shows you where the
clearly
wind is.
shows you because it's like a fundamental part of how the
tactics.
weapons work.
Right,
so,
yeah, of course. Now I
you
know.
know,
Now I
yeah,
know.
no, that's great.
I'm never playing any games with you anymore.
Big
It's
Crash
alright,
Bash
I'm
on the channel.
Going to start drawing
and
maps.
worms.
Everything's going to be okay. Just a couple of days for you to study the maps I've drawn,
Cool.
like read through my recommendations,
Yeah,
and everything's going to be fine.
If there's a war, I want to be on your team. That's what I've learned.
You definitely do.
So mine is actually, it's not CTR, but it's very similar to CTR because it is also from the Crash Bandicoot series. It's not Naughty Dog, but it is Crash Bash.
Oh, I love this game.
The thing is, I love this game. I absolutely love this game. And like, I go through stages with Crash Bash. Like when you're kind of doing the first few levels, you're like, yeah, this is fun. I love this mini game. And then you do a few challenges. You're like, yeah. But then the game starts getting challenging. It's basically, it's a party game. It's like you go into a warp zone area, you do a level, and then you've got 3 challenges to beat within that level. So you could be yourself and a friend, or you could just do it by yourself, and you're against other players, AIs. I used to play this game with my brother and he got very serious about this. Like you know when you start blaming each other for the fault, it's like, we lost because you did that. And I never thought that I would become that. But I played the game again, I think probably around 2 years ago, at the time with my boyfriend, and he was just like, why do you take this game so seriously? Because we were playing the game and every time we failed, I was just like, that wasn't my fault. That was not my fault. And I started saying that wasn't my fault. And then I'd be like, no, we are doing this challenge. And like, you know, when sometimes people are like, oh, let's just calm down. Let's come back to this challenge in a bit. I was like, no, we are doing this challenge. And like, I'm always Embryo as well. If anyone takes Embryo, I get very upset because Embryo is my boy. He's my Crash Bash character.
Why?
Because, so you know the challenge when you can taunt, like, you know you can taunt in Crash Bash? Like the characters can laugh or do something like that. Embryo always goes, and I used to have this thing, when my brother got really serious, I used to really annoy him.
Nobody guessed what you did.
When he got really, really serious and really annoyed and I was just having fun, I used to then do the Embryo taunt just to make him even worse until he'd start storming and going absolutely crazy just because I wanted to be an annoying little sister. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore the game, and every time someone says, let's play a party game or let's play a multiplayer game, I'll be like, yeah, let's play Crash Bash. And I never...
No, Rose. We know what you're like.
And I'm just like, no, I don't want to. I was like, I'm not like that. And then they're like, Rosie, you pass a point where you have fun and then you hit the serious level. And then everything that happens is very serious and you won't give up until we've done that task and it's not fun anymore. And I'm like, yes, it is fun. And they're like, nope. But I love Crash Bash, but for some reason, after a certain point, I think it's after a certain point where you're doing a challenge and you know it's doable. Like you've only just lost the challenge and then you feel that the AI are being really unfair and that you should have won something, but the AI, they won for some reason. The worst one is when you're like a spaceship and you're guarding your goal and there are these little silver balls that are just being chucked left, right, and center and you've got to basically defend your goal. And that's the one I get most serious over because you're supposed to be working in a team. Let's say if you're doing it with a friend, you're supposed to work together in order to get the other two. I'm just defending my goal to make sure that like no balls are coming into my fence. And then I remember I was playing it and then the person I was playing with would be like, you shot the ball in my goal. And I was like, well, you should defend your place better. Like, I love the game, absolutely adore it, but I just a point that just hits a certain point where I take it very seriously.
That track is seared into my mind. That's where the noobs race. Like, you're not supposed to do this. It's sort of like a cheeky shortcut. If you hit that dirt with your maximum boost, I can feel how to do that in my thumbs still. I know exactly how to land, slingshot your car around.
Did your sister ever beat you again, Rob?
Oh yeah, loads of times.
No.
Yeah.
But then I beat her again afterwards, so, you know, all that time was worth it. Let us know in the comments what video games you took too seriously. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and please give that notification bell a click to stay bang up to date with everything on the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next week for another Tuesday checklist.
For the players.